Manhunt is an Oswald the Lucky Rabbit Walter Lantz Productions cartoon from 1938. This is directed by Kline and Walter Lantz, written by Victor McLeod and James Miele, with a voice cast including Beatrice Hagen, Mel Blanc, Margaret Hill-Talbot, the Kingsmen, and Margaret McKay. Now, it is technically an Oswald cartoon, but it takes a long time for him to come into it, and I would personally say he's by no means the most interesting character. If you can overlook the fact that it's not really an Oswald cartoon, it's actually not too bad. And I think it could be a little emotive as well. It starts off with a bunch of hunters riding into the forest, and we have a great variety of personalities for the hunters. Some of them are really well done, very well written, with really strong, clear personalities, which I thought was really, really effective. And then it takes a little while to get to this point, but eventually we start to see things from the animals' perspectives. And needless to say, the animals are panicking because the hunters are coming. And with a meeting led by Oswald, so he does have a role to play in this, they realise they have to do something. They have to stop the hunters, and that's what the rest of the cartoon is about. The pacing is very slow. It definitely is very slow to get to the point. But once it gets there, I'd say the final third is when things get interesting, and I found that actually the action was moving forward and the animals were really fun to watch at certain points and emotional at others, and I admired their determination, but also I could see the fear and panic. I think it was definitely one of the more emotional, emotional's too strong a word, but if I were to rank all of the Oswald cartoons that I've seen, the one that's more likely to make me upset is this one, because obviously it's a real problem that real animals face. But that being said, it's still pretty easy to watch. It's not that intense, but we have some nice animations, some nice characters. I will say I feel like for the most part the hunters were more interesting than the animals, which I think in a way is the wrong way to approach it. I think as much as I praise the hunters for being largely well written, well animated, really interesting characters, I think it would have made more sense to put the emphasis on the characters of the animals and to maybe make the hunters just generic bad guys. I think that might have made more sense, but as I said, I do praise the design of the hunters because it was quite interesting. So either way, I guess there is a positive. And it's ultimately not a bad cartoon. As far as Oswald cartoons go, there's not a tremendous amount of Oswald in it. But other than that, it's okay. If you like animal-based narratives, then it might be worth checking out. The animation is pretty good. The pacing's not that great. But in general, I'd say Manhunt is an okay cartoon.